this particular NEC, I will now hand over to the Secretary General to walk us through.
Thank you very much, and good morning to ladies and gentlemen of the media. Today we start our regular meeting of the National Executive Committee. This meeting will end on Monday. Today we'll start with the political overview by the President, which will reflect on the domestic and geopolitical environment and the challenges and how to intervene in relation to those challenges we are facing. Today we will also deal with the economic trajectory, the path forward, which will be presented by our ETC. This is a very important discussion today on the economy, given the state of the economy, unemployment and all of that. What is it as the ANC we are saying about the economy in order to enhance economic growth, to ensure that our economy performs better. That will be followed by a discussion on the GNU. The GNU is a discussion that will focus on, since we formed the government of national unity, what are the challenges that we are facing, and at the same time, what is it that needs to be done to strengthen the government of national unity, and what are those matters that need urgent attention, that need to be given special attention going forward. And that will be followed by a discussion on the National General Council political framework. That will conclude the business of today and the discussions of today on those particular matters. But in the main today, the most important matter and the briefing following the discussions of today will be a briefing on the economy. And then tomorrow we'll deal with the NWC report, which is standard item. In every meeting of the National Executive Committee, we report on the work done as the Secretary General and the NWC on the work done by the National Executive Committee in the past 3 months since the last meeting. That will be followed by a report of the Integrity Commission, by the Integrity Commission itself. And then that will also be followed tomorrow by a discussion on the electoral guidelines for the election of candidates for local government. That will be presented by Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe. And then we will also present a report and a perspective on the South African Communist Party decision to stand for local government elections, the implications for the alliance, and what needs to be done in that regard, so that we give guidance to our structures and also guide the discussions that we continue to have with the Communist Party in a bilateral on this particular matter. That will then conclude the presentations for tomorrow and the discussion on those issues. And then on Sunday, we will discuss the whole day local government and intervention, local government intervention by the ANC, by government, and reflect on that. And then on Monday, we will then conclude our business. We will have the summary of the decisions that would have been taken by the National Executive Committee, but they will also elect and fill up the vacancies in the National Executive Committee. We've got 3 vacancies. In the National Working Committee, we've got 3 vacancies, and that will be done through voting in a secret ballot. That will then conclude the business of the meeting with the closing address by the President, and on Monday. So that is the end of the National Executive Committee. So those are issues that we're deliberating on in this meeting here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SG. I'm going to take hence SABC, followed by News 24. Samukela Masego from the SABC. Mr. Mbalula, on the two issues, on the economy first and foremost, what is the main discussion centralizing around the economy? Is it performance of the state-owned enterprises? Is it the performance particularly of the power utility ESCOM, and the stagnation of the economy that is not growing at the desired rate that you, as the ANC in this government of national unity, would want the economy to grow by? And then lastly, on the government of national unity, there's been a push by some of the ANC members to push out the Democratic Alliance for how it was so hostile during the negotiation period of the passing of the budget and the appropriations bill and the various departmental budgets that they ultimately voted for. What will be the posture, and ultimately what is a rough look at your report of the NWC that you discussed on the role of the government of national unity? Then lastly, the 30% tariff that has been imposed today by the United States of America on South Africa, and President Donald Trump saying he'll send someone to represent America at the G20 summit. Thank you. Then lastly, on Joburg and the metros, is Johannesburg at the desired state to hold the G20 summit at this point in time? Thank you.
Johannesburg is at a desired state to hold a G20 summit. No doubt about that. We have to keep addressing the challenges we faced in local government in Johannesburg as part and parcel of the overall work of improving lives of people and developing this city of Johannesburg. So Johannesburg is ready and should be ready to host the G20 summit. Secondly, it is no surprise the decisions of Donald Trump, but we leave it to government to respond to that. He made it very clear that they will not participate in the G20, but they've now decided to not send the head of state of America. They've decided to send somebody because South Africa will hand over to the United States with regard to G20. So our government must deal with that. We will, among others, discuss the implications of the tariff increase in terms of the economic trajectory and the path forward, how it impacts on our economy, and what are the options. So we will pronounce on that once we get the report, but also have a strategic intervention about what needs to be done. What will the economic discussion focusing on? For the ANC, we've got the mandate of the people to industrialize and push industrialization. So the question before this meeting, which the Economic Transformation Committee of the ANC must answer, and for the NEC to take a strategic view on it, is how far are we with regard to industrialization and pushing for that? Because we have said a number of things in terms of the manifesto, in terms of industrialization, that we need to intensify beneficiation and all of that. So the ETC will present here, and then we'll have a way forward from the point of view of the ANC in terms of what needs to be done. So we're not reinventing the wheel. We talk about what is in the manifesto and what we're doing to improve the economy of South Africa. The members of the ANC have got the right to think and think for themselves, including in the National Executive Committee, and we also allow dissent and so on. We will consider a strategic discussion on the GNU. It's not about the review of the GNU, it's about the discussion of the GNU as an option we've taken. So there's no discussion that is premised on reviewing the GNU. If it is on the table, it will arise in the meeting and it will be interrogated strategically. The option we've taken, which is GNU, is still intact. That GNU is not a melting pot. It has got its own challenges, ups and downs, because the ANC have not won outright majority, which enable it to govern without an option of a GNU or any other option. So in this instance, we will give a report on that work and a perspective with regard to the GNU. But as an option, it remains. There is no discussion about doing away with the GNU. So we need to correct that. Should there be a view by other members that the DA is a naughty one in the GNU and all of that, comrades are free to raise that in the meeting. We are here now. And then if they believe that the DA is not an honest partner in the GNU and all of that, that will also be on the table. And at the end of the day, we will provide a perspective to the meeting and then the strategic options for the ANC. The GNU must not be understood as a strategic option, but as a tactical maneuver. Meaning, should there be a point of changing it to another option, that will be based on the analysis of the balance of forces. That is why the discussion of the General Council in terms of the framework of the General Council is largely about the balance of forces. So you look at the GNU also in that particular context going forward. So there will be a discussion. We are an organization that prides itself with thinking and examining things, because matters are not in a static form. They change all the time. So as a party that has got a majority and that leads in South Africa, must always allow a space for thinking, critical thinking, robust thinking, and not allow inertia to creep in. Once we allow inertia to creep in, then we cease to become that pride itself of being a British party. So we expect comrades to come with ideas and engagement, but we'll give them a perspective, and that is what is important. I think we are done with your questions. Thank you.
Thank you. News 24, followed by ENCA.
Just one question for you. Will this gathering reflect on Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's allegations and the impact on the party?
Lieutenant Mkhwanazi's allegations have been processed. In the political overview and in the discussion throughout the day, comrades can reflect as well as to what do they think should actually happen. Here is what we have endorsed and is now unfolded. We have a Minister of Police, Kachalia, and then that's one. Two, we've got a Commission of Inquiry that is going to be operational with clear terms of reference. We have endorsed that. So a general of the police makes allegations and raises important matters which, of course, are now characterized as allegations, and the president takes a decision and institute a judicial commission of inquiry. And that is important. That judicial commission of inquiry will also look at matters of the policing in our country and the policing leadership and how generally this can be improved going forward. And then a judge who have just retired is now taking over the reins to oversee that work. So that is what the ANC have actually endorsed. Should there be new ideas in relation to the way forward, is the meeting will report as the NWC, and then if comrades want to come with new ideas and the National Executive Committee, it is the NEC, they are free to do so. But as the NWC, we have already endorsed what government have taken as steps to respond to General Mkhwanazi, and we respect what Mkhwanazi has actually raised, and it has been elevated. Those are matters now that our country must grapple with and deal with those issues decisively.
Yes, yeah.
On the side, Moloko Moloto here from ENCA. In regard to the report that will be coming from the Integrity Commission, will that include matters relating to Mr. Mkhwanazi? Because my understanding is that I have seen reports that indicated that he appeared before the commission. Second question regarding the report on the decision by the SACP to go on its own. Given the fact that you have leaders who are in the NEC, including your national chairperson, who are also members of the party's Central Executive Committee, how will their role unfold in these discussions about their dual membership? Will they discuss matters of the SACP while they are in the ANC? Lastly, on the issue of beneficiation, I mean, I can remember as far back as Pologwane 2007, the issue of beneficiation, I'm definitely sure it was not the first time it was discussed then, but that's when it gained momentum. When at some point, at what point will it stop being a talk shop, given the fact that we continue to export our low value added commodities despite that resolution having been taken so many years back?
This is not a talk shop. The discussion on the economy is going to look at the manifesto. I said beneficiation, industrialization. How far are we going in terms of implementing those decisions which we have been given a mandate by the electorate on, and tariffs and all of that? We are going to have a detailed briefing this afternoon on the economy, not many matters. That will reflect on the perspective that would have been discussed inside. And then next week we'll tell you on the way forward. We are not discussing new ideas. We are discussing, here is the economy underperforming, what are the intervention and what is the path forward as the ANC, not government, and what needs to be done in relation to our manifesto. I can cover a lot in relation to beneficiation and the work that is being done at the present moment. But our Economic Transformation Committee will deal with that. On the question of the SACP, we're going to discuss the SACP in relation as a perspective in terms of what is the ANC view on this matter. We've had a bilateral with the Communist Party. We've heard them what they say. We're going to report back here. And then we're going to sharpen our perspective, because this thing of contesting elections by the SACP is new in the context of the alliance. The National Executive Committee is seized with this matter and must give guidance to the lower structures and the membership as a whole. So we can't leave this meeting with ambiguity. We need to give direction. We have not arrived at the decision of dislocating ourselves from the SACP. Neither has the SACP done that. The SACP took a decision, but its implication in terms of the alliance are huge. And you know that as the ANC, we are opposed to that. So in this meeting, we are going to be tabling, we have met with the SACP, and what then do we need to do as the ANC with regard to the response we are getting from the SACP, which in the main, it is the response that says no retreat, no surrender. We are moving ahead. We have had a by-elections 2 weeks back in Seshego. SACP fielded a candidate. And therefore, it is going to be like that going forward. Our structures on the ground are asking, what should be our attitude in relation to this? The National Executive Committee will have to process these matters. Also, post the NEC, we still have got an outstanding bilateral to finalize these matters with the Communist Party. But we will be having now a clear mandate also from the NEC to say that with regard to these decisions, we think these are options and that are on the table, and so on and so on. So we are going to deal with that matter here today and give guidance to the structures, and that's what is important. And then the Integrity Commission, we're going to get reports. There are about 2 reports that are going, there are 2 reports, not about, 2 reports that will be presented by the Integrity Commission. And Mkhulu is not part of those reports. And then we will report to you about the NEC decision on those reports once they are presented and they are discussed.
That's taken care of. May I remind you, colleagues, it's not a media briefing. I'm going to take the last question and then we proceed so that the SG can go back to the meeting.
also Buffalo City.
Shannon Merrick, Kasi Broadcasting Africa. SG APLA, AZAPO and other liberation movements felt they were not invited to the meeting that took place with other countries, liberation movements and so on. Was it an oversight or was it deliberate not to invite other liberation movements in South Africa that took part in the struggle? Two, Floyd Shivambu said there's economic policies that don't make sense. They promise 1 million jobs and so on. One of the issues on the agenda here is economic policy. Is the ANC economic policy solid or is it copy and paste? Last but not least, the GNU. Kenny Kunene has been removed from the city of Joburg because he was close to convicted or somebody that's charged for murder and so on. There is a big possibility that leaders of power will be charged for murder in some of these cases. How do you deal with that as the ANC? Because the ANC has a step-aside policy, but it went into a GNU with convicted criminals, and some of these people might be charged as part of the current turmoil now in the murder in our country. Thank you.
We have always said this, that the ANC have taken steps as a political party based on our own experience. As the ANC, over the years, we have had a position that says, let's respect the jurisprudence. No one is above the law. We are all equal before the law. Anyone is innocent until proven otherwise, which is at the principles of our jurisprudence that everyone who's charged before any court of law is subjected to. But the ANC, as a political party, took a decision in its conference that to enhance an anti-corruption image as a party is not enough to restate jurisprudence. We must then include in this fight that members of the ANC at all levels who are affected, they must step aside and face the music on their own. That's what we have done. No political party in this country have got a practice of that nature. And we're proud of what we have done. We've got many people in the ANC today who are on the step aside. Some of the ANC people and members have been convicted, and some are convicted criminals. Once you are on a step aside, you are convicted, you move from step aside to facing disciplinary challenges in the ANC and then being put aside. That's what the ANC is doing. We keep restating this and we are restating it. We may not speak for other political parties. We did not go into a GNU with convicted criminals. It is South Africans that voted for the PA, it's not the ANC. And then it is South Africans that said they want the PA, it's not the ANC. It is South Africans that must define their attitude towards other political parties, not the ANC. We cannot speak for other parties. The ANC will speak for itself. Our president penned a letter that says we are accused number one. Others vulgarized that letter to meaning that the president have basically accepted that, incriminated the ANC, that the ANC is corrupt. The president was saying, we are number one accused by our status as a ruling party and we must accept that. And he penned that letter in response to what needs to happen in terms of the Zondo Commission. We embraced, supported the Zondo Commission. And there are results with regard to that Zondo Commission. And the president of the country spoke about that and will speak about that next week. And have we arrived at a point where in which we are happy about our image as a party that is characterized as corrupt? We are not. And it means we have not arrived at the point where in which anyone can say the ANC is serious about fighting corruption. But there are measures that are tangible, that are being implemented, that have affected individuals in the party quite decisively. We can't speak about other political parties and their attitudes towards the economy because they've never governed anyway. And they've just been paper tigers, and that is it. So it's not of importance for us to speak about others. Let's talk about what we do. It is for them to speak about us because they've got nothing to talk about. They've never governed anywhere. The ANC governs. The ANC leads. ANC lives. It is the ANC that must give answers to the questions that are complex that face us as South Africans in terms of the economy. And that is why the economic agenda of this country is important for the ANC. And that is what we're going to discuss today. This afternoon will give you an elaborate, not just a perspective, ANC intervention in terms of the economic trajectory and the path forward. Because that is what is important. The most important question before us is the performance of the economy. And that's what is important. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, there is no motion of confidence. It's anarchy. What has happened at Buffalo City? It is anarchy because those comrades in Buffalo City have got no respect for the ANC. We wrote to them, we wanted an answer by yesterday 3 o'clock as to what happened there. I don't know. Maybe we will receive it. But we are going to intervene in Buffalo City, including that anarchy that happened there. The ANC, even if people can have issues about the mayor and all of that, that's not the way to address matters. To go to a council where we've got overwhelming support and do what they did there. They are a law unto themselves, and that's what is important. Nobody is protecting the mayor, because we've got to deal with evidence of the performance of the whole council. And we're going to attend to that as the National Executive Committee, and also with that province of the Eastern Cape. But the behavior of our comrades projecting the ANC in tatters, projecting the ANC as a lawless organization that have got no self-respect of itself, and the mandate that it has been given by the people. It's not just a concept of concern, it has brought the organization into disrepute. No one is above the organization. No one is above the organization. The matter of Buffalo City is on our agenda. And the challenges that arise out of that city are going to be discussed in this meeting on Sunday. Local government intervention about what is happening in Buffalo City. And we are going to attend to that Buffalo City decisively. But the behavior that our comrades have projected in the public, undermining the Speaker of Council, swearing at each other, you know, behaving like gun-toting criminals in a public office, it's uncalled for. That's not how old people, public representative of a respected party must behave. What is this uncontrollable desire to do things in this particular manner and bring the party into disrepute? Where there are challenges, they must be attended to. We have been to Buffalo City. The province said to us, leave Buffalo City to us. We'll attend to it. There are squabbles, some of which arise in the ANC intra-party that affect the functioning of the council. Those issues must be attended by the ANC, and we are going to attend to them. But that behavior cannot be condoned. We wrote to the province and we seek for intervention, and what are they going to do about that? Akukwazenzela apho vula's book where everybody do as they wish. It is not